Game on.
Pew pew pew. Pew 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 pew. Oh, hey guys. Anyways, what are you even doing here? It says you're here to see Glen of Glen's Retro Show.
Say what?
I'm Retro Ralph. But if you're here, you're at his channel right now. Like, you need to stick around. This guy's awesome. So he is like the godfather of retro. Kiss the ring. I created the flight stick. No, he seriously is awesome. That's a really terrible impression. But anyways, stick around. He's here in 3, 2, 1. Let's do this.
Hi everybody, thank you for joining me on today's edition of Glen's Retro Show. Well, today thankfully is Friday. It's been an extremely long weeks. I'm sure it's been the same thing for all of you out there. But today is Friday, and not only is it Good Friday from a religious perspective, but it's also a Good Friday for me because I ordered something on eBay from a gentleman called Detroit Fat Boy, who got me something I've been trying to get for a little bit. So this arrived today from Detroit Fat Boy. It's my PC Engine CORE Grafx-16mini, and I've been trying to get this for a while. He had them in stock. The price was decent, and it was shipped. I got it in only a couple of days, and I want to really thank him for it. Now, I also have a TurboGrafx-16 coming from him as well, and also my PC Engine from Japan that's been held up in customs for a while. I thought that would have been here a long time ago, but it's been held up in customs. So I am extremely happy to have this. I've never actually owned a PC Engine or a CORE Grafx-16mini. I have a TurboGrafx-16 unit. So I'm really happy to take a look at this with you guys today. So let's get this thing, do a little unboxing and take a look at it and see what we get for this. This goes for about $100, plus shipping, depending on where you get it. Is it worth it? I don't know. Let's take a look. Okay, so here is the PC Engine CORE Grafx-16mini. I never owned this, like I said before. I'm assuming this is what the main cover looked like on the original box. And, it looks really nice. I mean, I did like the PC Engine from the very first time I saw it in an Electronic Gaming magazine when it was still in Japan. It was never even here. And here it is in the back, showing you all the different titles that are on it. And they're kind of like, I don't want to say region locked, but depending on what system you're selecting in the menu, will determine which games are available, which is kind of neat. They kind of change the front end based on the games. But that's really it for the box. They do include an HDMI cable and a power cord cable, I believe, but no power block, but most people have that anyway. And the one thing is, this goes for about $100, depending on where you're getting it from. If you're getting it on eBay, you're obviously going to pay a little bit more than you would on Amazon, but you only get one controller. Now, some people complain about that, but the original system only came with one controller. Now, the PC Engine CORE Grafx and TurboGrafx-16 did come with the turbo buttons when they launched. The PC Engine did not. I know people have complained about how the regular PC Engine did not have the turbo buttons. Again, when you're buying these, they're selling you what it sold like when it launched. And the original PC Engine did not have the turbo buttons, so I'm fine with that. There are two little things in here that I wish they made differently, and I'll talk about that once I get it out. But I haven't done that yet, so let's get this thing out of the box. So we're going to go over here, right? Yes. So pull this little guy right out here. Try and get the tab out anyway. There we go. You know me, I don't like to ruin my boxes, so I'm going to do the best I can to not do that. So I'm going to pull this out here, and let's see if we can slide this thing out as best we can. Here we go. Oh, there's the instruction manual stuck in there. All right. So now when you got the original, at least the TurboGrafx-16, this would have been all color. But again, this is not horrible. This is the European version. And everything here does appear to be, readable and fairly well done, showing how everything connects and so forth. So that's fine. It's just a manual, nothing crazy. We'll discover things the old-fashioned way, the manly way, when you actually turn around and play it. So here, I believe, is going to be our controller, and yes, it is. And it looks like they give you a nice long cord, so that's pretty nice already. And here is our controller. And that looks pretty good. Now, I know some people are saying that the buttons felt stiff to them, but This actually feels okay. They do feel a little bit on the like new side perhaps, but we'll find out when we start playing the game. But that's a nice looking controller and a nice long USB cord. Down in the box here we do have the, looks like the little charging cable. I'm not going to use that because I already have plenty of them around. And in the box is also an HDMI cable, but I also have that as well. But here is the actual controller. So I'm going to take this. You can see right there is the HDMI cable. I'm not going to take that out of the box. Put that aside. Let's take a look at what we really want to see, which is the actual Mini. And oh, that looks really nice. Now the funny thing is that this thing's already on. Look at that. The funny thing is that this is really not that much smaller than the original PC Engine or CORE Grafx would have been. It's probably about 80% of the size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a Hue card. Here's the Hue card slot here. I'm going to put this down for a second. I'm going to grab a Hue card just so you guys can see what I'm talking about when I talk about the size here. And where is that Hue card? I just had it a moment ago. Oh, it's right behind me, of course. Of course it's right behind me. So here is the my R-Type Hue card. And you can see if I put it next to this, it's really not that much of a difference. So it's about 80% the size. You make it a little bit bigger, this would slide right in. It's not that far off. So these machines were tiny to begin with. A lot of people don't realize that these were not the big honking machines like the TurboGrafx-16 is. This here would probably be three and a half of these to make the width of a TurboGrafx-16. Now, the console itself looks great. I mean, I do like this. I still prefer the PC Engine, the white one. I guess because it was the original. But this still doesn't look bad at all. What I do like about this here is, you know, the logos. It's very reminiscent to the way the machine had looked back in the day. The two things I noticed when I was watching other videos of this that caught my eye was they do have the slot here that locks your little Hue card in place. But I wish they made this open, and so you can put your Hue cards in here to lock them in place. I mean, you can lock it, which is great. There's no Hue card there. So I wish they had made a slot there so you can put a cartridge in. Again, it's just a small little quirky thing that I'm nitpicking, I know, but just something I wanted to mention. This one here, a lot of people are going to think I'm nuts about. But again, to make this look like the original, I actually wish they did not put two USB ports in. All the people are going to think I'm nuts because you can play two-player games like this. But these are regular USB ports. They should have just put the one port to make it look, again, like it would have looked originally. And you could just use a standard USB hub to add additional controllers. They're going to probably sell that anyway. But you can very easily put a 4 or 5 port USB hub into here and do the same thing that TurboTap would do and make this aesthetically look original. So again, me just nitpicking. Most people probably think, Glenn, you're nuts. I'd rather have the two on there. Me, I would have liked the one just to keep it like the original. They only include one controller with the unit anyway. Now another thing is on this, the top USB port here is for your player 1. The bottom is player 2. If you put the controller in player 2, the run button will not start your games. So you want to make sure you plug into port number 1. So I'm going to take this box, move it out of the way just for a minute. And I'm going to turn this around to the back. Another cool thing is the PC Engine, the CORE Grafx, TurboGrafx-16 had a phenomenal expansion port that they used. Mostly it was used for the CD-ROM attachment, but they did make other attachments as well, like memory storage, better video ports coming out of the back. But what's cool about this, they did include a port cover, and it does, here it goes, it comes off, and it does show your HDMI and power. So that was a nice little, you know, addition there that you put that on there. And the bottom just says, you know, Konami, and it talks about the expansion bus here on the back. Again, it did a really nice job. I mean, on the box, on the manual, on the controller, and on the design, did a really nice job. Aside from, I wish they had a slot there for a Hue card and the one port. And I know people think I'm nuts. But that's really it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to connect this, and it's not too hard to do. All we need to do is find our HDMI cable and our power cable. So again, it's just a standard micro USB. So I'll plug that in back here like so. Nothing too crazy, like that. And the next thing we need to do is simply connect our HDMI, which I have right here as well. It's hiding from me back here, like so. And we'll just put that in again as well. So these, I will say, aside from the original NES Mini, this is the one I've wanted just to get my hands on the most. I do have these, you know, the SNES Mini. I also have the PlayStation Mini and the Genesis Mini. But aside from the original NES Mini, this NEC units, the CORE Grafx, the PC Engine, the TurboGrafx-16, are the ones I've really wanted the most. And, well, let's plug this controller in here. I'm going to undo this right here. And again, it has to go into your top port. Your top is your player 1. If you plug it into the bottom one, your player 1 controls are not going to work. And that's a really, 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 really long cord. So they're not going to cheap out with that. And let's go fire this thing up. So I'm going to just move the camera to my TV so we can kind of turn this thing on and see how it works. Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that the music it's playing is nice. Visually, this thing looks really, really nice. And if you look in the lower right-hand corner, it says TurboGrafx-16. So these are the games that you would have had for the TurboGrafx-16 system. I do like the little PC engines walking around. I like the TurboGrafx-16 at the top with the hue card slot. So, you know, they did a really nice job with this. Now, I know AM2 made the emulation for this, and I'm sure they did a really nice job. They got a lot of games in here. This right here, Ease Book 1 and 2, to me personally, that's the one reason you should be buying this right away. I think that's a fantastic game, great music, great sound. We have Bonk. We have a lot of other good games on here. Some of these games I've never played before. Now, they have Air Zonk. I was never an Air Zonk fan. I was more the Bonk fan. But I know a lot of people do like Air Zonk. They have Nutopia on here, which is basically like a Zelda clone. New Adventure Island, Soldier Blade, Bomberman 93. I love Bomberman, Lords of Thunder, Alien Crush. I'm going to take this game just because it was one of the first games I did play when I bought my machine back in the day. You hit the run button, and that's just really kind of neat that it does that. Loads the hue card. So here is Alien Crush. It had a sequel called Devil's Crush that was a better game. But again, this was the first time they played something like this on there, and it was a really fun game. So the run and select buttons feel fine. The buttons and joystick do feel a little bit, I don't want to say stiff, they just require more pressure to press, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's something, if you play the original, it'll be something you need to get used to for a few minutes. Of course, if you haven't played this before, or in ages, you may not even notice. So this was obviously taken on like the movie Alien, with the type of, you know, visuals in this game. But the music sounds to me definitely the way it should on the game. I'm not noticing any real lag. If there is any, you know, input delay, I'm not noticing it myself. And this is just a standard Magnavox, just an older TV. It's a 1080p TV, but it's probably a good 13 years old, I would think, 14 years old TV. So not bad. You can see the graphics are nice and sharp. So we're going to go and hit the run and select button. Now you can save a state if you want to. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go back to the main menu. Press button 1 just to cancel out of that. Now they have games like, you know, Blazing Lasers. The PC Engine, the TurboGrafx-16 were very well known for their shooters. Let's go take a look at Blazing Lasers. Alright, let's run it. So again, this does have the turbo buttons built in. I'm going to start off without turbo buttons. And it does have auto fire anyway. Again, I'm not using turbo buttons, this is standard to tone down the button at this point. This is not a CD game, it's just a standard hue card. God, I keep missing those. What was really amazing, this machine's got very little slowdown. I mean, there's always some slowdown in certain games. You can see there's a lot of sprites going on. There's no slowdown at all. Lots of great colors on screen. Not really noticing, again, any lag of any kind. So if you like shooters, I mean, this is definitely be something you're going to want to take a look at. So let's go out of here, go back to the main menu. Dungeon Explorer is another good game. I never played Moto Rotor, or what is it, Moto Rotor. I've never really played it. Tower Golf, not my thing. But I have played R-Type. If you've been watching my really bad live streams of late, you can see me playing R-Type. So let's load that up and see how it goes. I do love how that card goes in like that, the hue card. Alright, let's start the game up.
Say what?
I'm using the turbo buttons right now, and I am noticing there's a little screen tearing. Not horrible, but it is a little noticeable if you know what to look for, I guess. Again, it doesn't take away from the way the game's playing. There's no slowdown. The music sounds spot on. Everything seems to be just the way it should be, which is great. Now, in a game like R-Type, you gotta look front, behind, everywhere. These bullets come from every direction. Not too shabby. The music and everything sounds good and looks really, really good. So far, I'm definitely impressed. But again, it's a high price of admission. These consoles go for, if you get them at on Amazon, $100 with one controller and no power pack. But the console, the controller, the emulation seems really, really good. So if you were looking to get one of these consoles, never had it, I don't think you'd be disappointed. And I can almost guarantee that someone's going to be working on a hack to get more ROMs on here. I love this stage. Visually, it's just amazing. And, there's a little flicker, but that's how it was on the original machine, so nothing wrong with that. Not too bad at all. R-Type played very, very well and very, very accurate in my opinion to how it was on the original machine. Let's take a look at something else here. Go back down to the main menu and go, yes, we'll get out of here. So, all these games here, again, I would definitely recommend taking a look at, the Ease Book 1 and 2. I can see Splatterhouse here is, in this form, is just the American non-blood version. The Ease Book 1 and 2 is a fantastic game. Again, to my opinion, worth the price of admission right there. Now, if I go down here to settings, I can actually change the console. I'll hit that button here, and it does a shutdown like a restart. And now I have the CORE Grafx games. Again, nice job with the music. Here's the their other version of Ease. I'm going to take a look at this version. I'm assuming it's going to play in Japanese, I guess. Let's find out. That's just awesome that it does a CD-ROM like that, because that's exactly what it sounds like. Now I'm going to crank up the music here a little bit. This is probably my favorite game. It's just great memories of this game. When you purchase the $500 CD-ROM attachment, this is that one game to make you say, you know what, it was worth it. So it's not in English, but the TurboGrafx-16 version did play that in English. So you have your option there. I don't know if that was Japanese or what. I didn't recognize it, so we'll go out of there for right now. But still very cool that it's there. Superstar Soldier. Oh, here we go. This is basically Ghouls and Ghosts. This is a SuperGrafx game. So this, you would have to purchase the SuperGrafx console to play this. It was not playable on the normal PC Engine, CORE Grafx, or TurboGrafx-16. was standing there, I have no idea. Uh-oh. Now I tried pressing up to shoot, so the joystick is definitely a little bit on the stiff side, so I'm trying to press up. Here we go. Ah, I lost my armor already? Dang. So the joystick, you know, the up is working, but you really got to press it up. Like right now, I'm not happy with the up button. So left and right was working okay, but I am trying to press up, and I'm pressing up, but it's not really registering too well. Down is okay. Up is working a little bit better now. See, I pressed up there. Come on. Maybe it's a little stiff as we worked in, but I definitely feel like the up is not working as well as it should. But this is a very good game. Some people feel it's the pinnacle home console version of Ghouls and Ghosts. Better than the SNES version or the Sega version. And we'll leave that right there. We'll come out and try a different game. A lot of these games I've never played before. Salamander's on this, supposed to be a good game. Now if I go down here, let's see, we go switch consoles again. Back to the TurboGrafx. So we have the TurboGrafx and the CORE Grafx. Let's take a look at Superstar Soldier. That's supposed to be a very good game. Let's take a look at that. Ooh, that was quick. Difficult game for me. So the machine does support save states. Turn the volume down just a little bit here. So there's a lot of good games here I'm going to try out. I just wanted to give you a quick unboxing and showing of the console. Take a look at one more. Let's take a look at good old Gradius. After all, it is from Konami, and the Konami's releasing the console. I should have to take a look at it, right? Who doesn't like Konami? Ooh, that was close. Now, I already played this on the original NES, to be honest, and I already can tell I like this version better. The sound is much better, and the graphics definitely look nicer as well. Until I died. Not too shabby. I'm going to give you some final thoughts of my quick unboxing of the PC Engine CORE Mini. So some quick final thoughts on the PC Engine CORE Grafx Mini. I've only had it maybe 2 hours already, but I loved the machine before I had it. I've always wanted one of these. I've played most of these games before through emulation. I've had the original TurboGrafx-16, so I do already like the games that it has. I do like how this thing looks. I like the aesthetics of it. I do wish, I know you probably think I'm nuts, I only had the one controller port there to make it look more like the original, and then you can add a USB, hub to add more, and a little slot there to actually add the HUE cards in. But those are just nitpicks, to be quite honest, and people probably want to punch me in the head for that one anyway. But again, this is pretty close to what the original one looked like. It was probably 80% of the original size. So I do wish they released something like this in the States to begin with. Maybe it would have helped them a little bit better marketing. But do I think it's worth it? Well, we're talking, if you get it from Amazon, this would be $100 for this with the games, one controller, the HDMI cable and power cable, that's it. For me, I bought all three. They're worth it to me. Just for fond memories, if you will. But outside of that, AM2 did a really nice job with the emulation. The menu system is very, very good. So I don't think anyone would be disappointed purchasing the CORE Grafx, the PC Engine, or the TurboGrafx-16mini. They were just such a really nice system back in the day that just didn't take off, partially from a marketing standpoint, partially because Nintendo had a stranglehold on third parties and they couldn't bring over a lot of the good games that would have shown how much superior this was to a lot of the consoles back at the time. But I am glad that Konami is coming out with this. I do hope they can release it to the US and the European unions quicker. I know you can't get it from Japan. That's where mine are coming from. But I don't think you'd be disappointed with this. I like it. And I do kind of wish, though, like I said with the Sega Genesis, this machine was the first to have a CD-ROM attachment. Of course, the Sega had one as well. I think they should have not included CD games on here. Again, punch me in the head. But I would like to have seen an add-on. They could put a USB port on the back, took this one off the front, put it on the back, dock it to the CD-ROM unit mini, and that would give you those games. I don't know why they don't think of these things. I would have rather more good HUE card games on here, and I would have purchased a add-on attachment that emulated the CD-ROM to give you the CD-ROM games. Again, just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. Leave comments down below to your thoughts. But I would really like to see the TurboGrafx-16, the PC Engine, the Sega Genesis, to have these attachments that will add more games. From the manufacturer's standpoint, they're selling more product. From our standpoint, we're getting more CD-ROM games, more HUE card games, more maybe 32X games on the Sega Genesis Mini. But maybe they'll change that in the future with additional consoles. But in any case, I'll do more on this. I still have my PC Engine coming and my TurboGrafx-16 coming. So I'll do more reviews on this as well. But I can tell you, just my initial thoughts, I really like it already. I couldn't say that with the PlayStation Mini at all. And the Sega Genesis one was okay. I just wasn't super excited about it. The NES, when that came out, the Mini, I was really stoked for that one. And I was really stoked for these. So if you've played these in the past, I don't think you'll be disappointed with it. If you're curious about one of these things, I don't think you'll be disappointed with it. Do I think it's a little high in the price tag? I do. I think this may be more better at a $79 price point with the one controller, maybe $100 with the two controllers. But again, this was already a console that wasn't huge back in the day. So maybe they're trying to make it more limited. I don't know. But in any case, I do thank you all for watching today. And tune in for future videos on these little guys and other things. So thanks for watching. And remember, no matter what you do, game on.
Tiny Arcade fan page. Remember, don't admire people too much. They'll disappoint you.
Sit, Blue Blue, sit. Good dog.